Hey everybody, how's it going? We're going to be talking tonight about marketing mistakes that most small businesses make early on, or many small businesses make early on. And I hope that it's going to be helpful. I'm Haley Gray, and I am a marketing geek, and I'm also the group owner for the Women's Entrepreneur Network, a 74,000 strong Facebook group. And tonight we're going to be talking about these things that people do when they are marketing their businesses that cause them no end of grief. So, the first thing that I see a lot of small businesses do is they don't have a good direction for their business. They maybe don't even understand the business super well. I have seen a lot of people who get into digital marketing because they heard that they can make a lot of money. I hear a lot of people who get into health coaching because they can make a lot of money, or it's been touted as something and they're really excited about it. And now they're off trying to figure out how to make a deal out of it. So, first things first, as Stephen Covey would say, begin with the end in mind. So, what we're going to encourage you to do is make sure that you are figuring out what your business is and that you do research on your business model. People hear that realtors make a lot of money. Yes, there are some realtors who make a ton of money. However, many realtors starve. So research your business, choose it wisely. The next thing is understand what you're going to have to do in order to get clients in your particular field or in your particular industry. In some industries, you may buy leads. In some industries, you may be knocking on doors. You may be doing cold calls. If you are not comfortable with the way that the industry tends to operate, maybe it's not a good industry for you to be in. Now, can you revolutionize things? Absolutely. But that may not be where you decide to start, especially if you don't have a deep pocket to work from. So make sure that you are, figuring out what your business is, kind of how you're going to market it and how you're going to get clients. I've seen people who post in my group pretty often who say, "Hey, I don't know how to get clients." Let's focus on getting you some clients, right? Let's focus on figuring out what that means. Do some research before you start the business. I can't express this one strongly enough because a lot of times we don't know what we don't know. We think we're just going to go out and open our doors and people are going to come wandering in. And unfortunately, when I've judged a lot of startup challenges at Duke, I see a lot of people who are like, "Oh, well, it seemed really good, but I um, didn't really plan to do any marketing. I just thought I would put it out there and people would buy. I thought I would write that book and people would just buy it." Unfortunately, that's kind of not how it works. I wish it did. I wish it was that easy, but it's not. Marketing requires real concerted effort. Think about what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do. Another mistake I see is too many cooks in the kitchen. In super small businesses and solopreneurs, too many cooks in the kitchen generally looks like, "Hey, friend, can you take a look at my website? Hey, mom, hey, dad, hey, can I please crowdsource this blanket marketing stuff?" I'll give you an honest answer. That way lies heartburn and madness. It's going to lead to delays. It's going to lead to the perfectionist overthinking, driving yourself nuts, driving your costs through the roof, and generally leaving you really, really unhappy. Maybe have one or two trusted advisors, but you, as the business owner, at the end of the day, have to make the decision. The other way I see the too many cooks in the kitchen problem manifest itself is in slightly larger businesses that have multiple employees, maybe multiple marketing directors, multiple people, and they all share the decision making power together. As a digital marketer, as somebody who does websites, I frankly want to gouge my eyes out, gnaw my leg off like I was in a rusty bear trap when I run into this type of situation, because I know that it's never going to end well for me. And it rarely really ends super well for the client either. And that's part of the reason why one of my questions when I'm doing intake is, what is your decision making process? Do you have a decision maker who is ultimately responsible for making the decision? And usually I get a yes. And then I may find out that, oh, well, this person who says they have decision making authority didn't really have decision making authority. They had to go ask such and such over here. And then they had an opinion, and then we're going to change it 14 times, and everybody's going to put their opinion in. And too many cooks in the kitchen leads to madness. It leads to project shipping delays. It leads to all kinds of frustration. So having a primary decision maker and ultimate decision maker is super important. And being clear about what the decision making process is up front, who's making the decision. The other thing I see a lot of small businesses do is they try to do too many things. Hey, I can make money over here, and I can make money over here, and I can make money over there. And it doesn't always end well. Why? Because you end up too fractured, too all over the place, and you're just not making any money. So focus instead on one or two things and doing those things extremely well. It doesn't mean that you have to niche down and you're only working, with blue butterflies in Cary, North Carolina. It may mean that you are working with, other types of clients, but you're being pretty specific about what it is that you're selling, and it will get a lot easier. Trying to do too many things for too many people generally does not end well in life or in business. Jack of all trades, master of exactly none. And it applies in life and it applies in business, unfortunately. So some other mistakes that I see businesses make. They're not consistent with their marketing efforts. Oh, I'm going to try this. Oh, squirrel over here, trying that. Oh, squirrel over here, trying that. Squirrels are the death of a business. I'll tell you, my dog really likes a good squirrel. And what happens when she sees a squirrel is that I generally get my arm about yanked out of its socket. We're walking down the walkway super nicely, and it's, easy, it's great. And the next thing I know, whoop, off into the bushes. She's trying to go get the squirrel. And that's what happens to our businesses. Death by squirrel, absolutely. Because we're constantly changing our minds. Death by perfection, death by committee, death by squirrel. And the other way it manifests itself is you get this person who comes in and they sell you this brand new, amazing marketing wizardy wig wizard widget that they're going to put into your website, and it's going to make you $1 million. It's not. It's really not. You've just been sold a bill of goods. Sorry, bad news. You have the same dog. Yeah, my dog really likes to yank my arm out of the shoulder, like pretty often. Like tonight, there was something good and stinky off in the bushes, and she was like ready to go rolling down the hill in it. And, it's just a thing, death by squirrel. So let's talk about death by the latest WYSIWYG, right? Beware of what you're buying. Buying one thing, then buying another, then buying another. You're not going to do anything long enough, and you're probably going to end up with a very, very empty checkbook. I've seen people who, no joke, they get their website three 3/4 done. And then they're like, oh, well, such and such said that they could do such and such for me. I'm like, okay, great. Cancel the project. Okay, great. Thank you so much. They get the project done. 6 months later, it goes up, and I'm like, huh, that looks exactly like what we were already working on, or pretty damn close. There's no magic WYSIWYG to it. Stick with the path. Once you decide to go down a path, stick with it for a bit. And I'm not just saying that in terms of like, finish it for my sake. I'm saying finish it for your own sake. The magic WYSIWYGs rarely are magic. There's really no magic tool out there that's going to do everything for you in your business. I wish there were, but I'd be selling you a bill of goods. The other is death by perfection. The perfectionistas, the over-analysis is one problem, and then the perfectionistas, right? I have to have the perfect website. I have to have the perfect graphics. I have to have the perfect branding. I have to have. I'm perfectionist, and I'm going to wait until I get it all done. And guess what? It never gets done. Or it takes years longer than it had to. I see it with coaching clients and consulting clients all the time. I see it with websites all the time. And then there's the corollary to that. I edited my website into oblivion problem. It was looking beautiful. It was looking great. It looked like it was going to be awesome for conversion. Things were moving down the progress really well. And then I decided I hated all the pictures on the website and the layout and the copy. So I had you change it 14 times. And oh, by the way, I ran out of edits and it looks like crap. So then I end up having to pay for more edits on the website to get it back to the condition it was in the first place. Not a good look. The other mistake people make is that they don't observe good internet security. This is one that's really, really tough. Make sure you've got two-factor authentication turned on your website, that you've got two-factor authentication turned on everywhere on your social media. Don't click the links, because believe it or not, you can destroy your business by being on Facebook and clicking on the wrong link, or being in your email and clicking on the wrong link. You end up with ransomware, you end up taking everything down, and it's just not a pretty situation. If you look at a lot of the major hacks that have happened lately, you're getting something that's sent to you and you're clicking on it, and then they get access into your social media or they get access into your website. Not a pretty look. So, focus on knowing what you want, being clear about it, making a decision and sticking with it, being clear on who's making the decision and how they're making the decision. And the most important thing is stick with the decisions that you do make. Is it going to be perfect? It's never perfect. I wish it were. I can tell you that honestly, no single decision I have ever made in my business was completely perfect. I wish it were. Do I second guess myself? Every single day of the week that ends in Y, I second guess myself. And sometimes it's terrifying. I wake up in the morning and I'm absolutely terrified. That happens. It's okay. What do? We just keep going, and we just keep marketing our businesses, and we just keep selling. I see a lot of people who hide because they're scared of selling. And hey, Stephanie, good to see you. And they're scared of putting themselves out there, and they're scared of being visible. They're scared of not being perfect. They're scared of not making the right decision. And that stops us too. And I think that sometimes the perfectionism, the new squirrels, all those things are our own way of trying to protect ourselves from making the wrong decision or the less than perfect decision and potentially ending up embarrassing ourselves. And if you're worried about that, then let me assure you that we all embarrass ourselves from time to time, and chances are nobody actually noticed it. So go out there, be clear on what you're doing, make it easy. And if you're not sure, just book a 15-minute call with me. And a lot of times I can help calm your nerves and maybe we just get to know each other. I hope that y'all have a fabulous evening. I hope you take care. Have lots of blessings. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Bye bye.